Throughout the last few months, we've had some astounding game design mechanics, and I'd love to share them. This, for example, is the 9 Lost chapter. Fujin gets her LD. Also, the Golbez BT also dropped. Ironically, this chapter is weak to both. But when you decide to use any other element, something really intriguing happens. Only firsthand will you experience instantly dying because you used anything other than what they said. On to example number 2. Oh, my other favorite, the Gladio Lost chapter, man. So imagine a fight where you want to get hit in order to proc counters that you need to delay the boss. Not only do you need to delay the boss, you need to have an element and you need to delay the boss in order to push the orb up. Oh, but it gets even better. You're not gonna be able to hurt them at the start of the match unless you break them. But you can't break them because all you hit is 1s. Wow, so you need to insta-break them or bring somebody that has enchant and delay. Like, you have plenty of time to set up, by the way. Being that it's got a preemptive start, you have, I don't know, about 6 actions to get yourself ready. More or less, you're going to die if you don't insta-break, or just bring, what's his face that was on the banner? Oh, yes, the Sabin LD, yes. Oh! I don't think they would ever release a character and then instantly counter them in order to push another banner. They would never do that type of thing. It would never make sense to do something like put a sap orb on a boss, but you need to break them. And if you break them or go too many times, it just jumps in front of you. Like, that's stuff of myth. They would never do anything like that. See, I just made that scenario up. What if it really happened? There could never be a boss fight like that. That would just be absolutely preposterous. It doesn't exist. It can't exist. That's crazy. So in this fight, if you take 12 actions, the boss instantly jumps in front of you, auto cleanses and attacks you. That's crazy. What makes it even better is it has a break orb. So you know when you break an enemy, you push their turn back and you end up going again, but since Vayne has an LD, now he kind of goes like 4 times in a row. Without proper setup, you don't do damage. Hello? So with a good proper setup, you can net maybe about 1 million or so with certain BT pluses. It's not difficult. Of course you can stack another BT and another BT on top of that. That's actually another problem, but I'm gonna get into that much later. Not even in this video, because that's a whole other topic on its own. But the point is, you need time to set up. You have no time to set up. And if you do set up, what happens is, oh, my favorite. You know, how many times have I said auto cleanse? I could probably write a gigantic autobiography about auto cleanse being said by me. Because it happens that many times. Ridiculous. Do I even need to say anything at this point? Do I need to say anything? Let's just watch. Watch what happens. Remember that auto cleanse? Oh, it's on attack too. Wow. So there's no way to stop that? I just gotta eat it? I just don't know anymore. I don't know. This seems like someone's trolling super hard, or somebody just wants you to pull, which we were probably gonna do anyways, because that's what we play the game for, you know, the characters. It's called Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, featuring characters from the first game to the most recent game, and we play for them, not because of the reasons. But I guess that's a pretty hard concept to grasp. So what we do instead is we make crazy stages. We sabotage characters. We do bad game design. We do all this on purpose. Why do we do it? Because we want you to pull even though you would anyways. It's either that or you just have zero concept of game design. How on earth are you gonna make a stage where the ghost needs to be sapped and or broken and the thing can teleport in front of you after you start beating it? Imagine you're in a fist fight and you're beating somebody and then a ref comes in like, hold up, you need to stop. Let them get all these hits in. Why would you let them get hits in? The whole point of the fight is to get the advantage, to get the momentum and win. Now what you're doing is you're rewarding the boss for getting his butt handed to him. Literally. And they switched the thresholds so that the boss acts sooner. But luckily I had a paralysis set up without even knowing it was gonna teleport. I think once it teleported, I completely just checked out. Next thing I knew, the battle was over and I won. It's that ridiculous. I just stopped paying attention. There's zero care left for these fights. The design is beyond awful. So attempting to replicate what I did, I kind of failed. I tried. So I turned it into, let me do this is what happens if you mess up type thing. Yes, it's that annoying that trying to replicate, I just got lucky, I'm assuming. Because there's other factors of RNG that go into this that I'm gonna get into right after this. And I recorded it for an entire hour just to show exactly how stupid it is. It has to do with turn order, turn rate, you know, the way you start, how much brave the enemies randomly start with, that type of stuff. But what we need to look at is the action bar. Now, once the battle starts, just pay close attention. I'm giving a heads up because this is a whole hour of resetting. 70% of the time, with various parties, it would just jump right behind the first character. Every other time, just... because I don't even believe what I was seeing. Aside from the already insta-jumping at certain HP thresholds, we have to deal with bad starts, which can change the entire tide of the battle from the beginning. This is exactly what happens if you do not paralyze and or confuse this thing, or have a fast enough team to just obliterate it. I figured that one out instantly, but it involves Cloud of Darkness, which I do not have, so it's not going to happen. I'm honestly disappointed with my Vayne BT Plus choice, because I tried them both in the same scenarios and she just does better, and they do a lot of similar things. The only thing he has over her is the LD stats. That's pretty much it. Aside from that, I don't really see a point of picking him as a BT Plus over her. And this is coming from me. We already know what it is with this character and what game he comes from. And I'm saying this. So like I said, I got you guys nice and prepared for what was gonna happen. I said after an hour, this was the start. So just observe the action bar, just look at it. It's like, it's okay, but then sometimes it's just, it's not okay, and he's in the middle of the party, and then he's in the back of the party, and then sometimes jumps in front of the party. And this is with different characters. I was like, maybe it's a speed thing. Nah, it's 100% random. A whole hour. This is about over 100 resets. This is what it does. It is random. There is no consistency to this. So you know what? You guys want to be cheap? You want the power, you're gonna get the power. And I'm gonna cheat by the hour. Pour 'em, Brave Gains, into Von Ice, into Agria's stun, HP damage up. Now what are you gonna do? You can't do nothing. You're paralyzed, you're confused, you're blinded. You try to jump up, you're gonna get knocked back. If that's what you want, that's what you can get. It's either that or stack 3 different BTs, Tifa, beat the whole thing. This is, you have to be as cheap as possible with the strongest characters or you will not win. There is no way you can't do damage. If your character doesn't have a high potency on a skill, you can forget it. They're pretty much finished. Taking the Brave gain up into HP damage, up route, and constantly stunning and confusing and being cheap because that's what you have to do. There's no other way. There is no choice this time. You will literally hit ones if you are not set up with BTs, Brave gain, a bajillion calls, and 500 debuffs on the target. And even then you can still hit ones towards the end. It really depends on the character and the setup and whatnot. But the general consensus is, if you're not set up, no BTs, no cheap characters, no strong characters, you're hitting ones. Even some of the strong characters hit ones. Even as we just experienced, Bard's coming right in, hitting ones. The thing's at 1%. I mean, it is what it is. Co-op says bringing BTs in at the last moment is good, so hey,